Colin had never felt like such an utter fool. What in all the levels of the underworld was he doing, walking through the moonlight forest carrying a purse? I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm being a gentleman, he thought. I may be dead, but chivalry isn't. Summer left her purse at the gallery, and I'm returning it. A woman's purse was the secret thing. Goddess knows what all was kept in one. Colin would almost rather take a long walk outside at noon than actually look in the damn thing. Thankfully, it was zipped close, but he still held it eagerly, gingerly, like it might explode if he handed it too quickly, too roughly. There wasn't much he could do except return it. The sooner, the better. Sure, he could hang on to it and wait for Summer to realize where she left it and then come claim it. But she'd been through a lot. It might take her a day or two, hell, even three, to get round to it. Until then, what about all that important stuff inside the purse? The only thing he could do with a clear conscience was to return it to her right away. Or at least, that was how he rationalized his overwhelming need to see her again. Immediately. The package clearly wrapped in the gallery's chic, black hand pressed paper was a damn sight tougher to rationalize away. Or maybe not. Colin shrugged his broad shoulders. Why hide behind rationalization? Why hide behind rationalizations? He was courting a woman. That was nothing to feel foolish about, even if it meant carrying her purse through the woods while pink love petals fell from the sky and fairies giggled annoyingly as they played naked hide and seek among the trees. Goddess, fairies were irritating. Colin glared at a silver-winged, pink-haired fairy who had frolicked close to him and gave the vampire a coquettish smile that was a clear home-heater invitation. Not interested, he said firmly, giving the naked creature a dark look. Not at all offended, she shrugged her smooth shoulders and scampered off. Colin scrolled after her. Fairies have never interested him. Actually, now that he was thinking about it, it had been a long time since any woman had caught his interest. Were he completely honest with himself, he would admit that no woman had affected him as this one had. And it wasn't simply because she was beautiful and interesting. Summer had brought him sunlight. Summer. Colin felt the urge to laugh aloud. The name fit her perfectly. Sure, he knew she'd said the whole sunlight thing had been because of how her magic worked on spells, but she'd been wrong. He smelled sunlight on her, felt it in her touch, since the moment he'd taken her hand. After living in darkness for so long, there was one thing he definitely recognized, and that was the touch of the sun. He had to have more of that touch, so he was going to woo her until he won her. "You are so different here," she said of him on the balcony, and she'd seemed to like the difference. Colin had been different. He'd been himself again, or at least his pre-vampire self. Unending night had worn on him until he'd become as dark as his surroundings. Even his ranch had become a black place for him. He'd never been able to go out on his lands, walk his horses, or care for the cattle in the daylight. He hired hands to do that for him. But for decades, he'd found solace in roaming his land at night, in chasing the last rays of sunlight, as day reluctantly gave way to night, and then, in turn, giving way to the sun as it inevitably reclaimed the sky. Not so recently. Recently, his life had seemed nothing but unending darkness. His beloved ranch, not freedom and not open space, but just another glided cage, where night continued to imprison him. Living a life of shadows had worn on him and darkened Colin's personality as well. But that wasn't really him. It was what this damned vampire curse had turned him into. Summer could change that. Summer could change everything, and he wanted her to. He wanted to be the Colin who laughed and lived and loved again. So, he'd put in an overseas call to his brother, who was still sleeping his way around gay Paris, and Barnabas had told him Summer was staying in her sister Candace's cabin, which sat in a clearing at the southern edge of the pine forest surrounding Mysteria, which is why he had just trekked through said forest with Summer's purse and a gift for her, and why he was now standing just inside the edge of the trees, facing the brightly lit little cabin with its honey wrapped around porch. Colin drew a deep breath, sunlight and honey. He could sense her from there. She had to be home. He started forward, telling himself that the jilty feeling in his stomach wasn't nerves. It was just anticipation, which was only natural. It had been decades since he's been interested enough to actually consider courting a lady. He just needed to remember that he used to be good with the ladies. Charming, that's how they used to describe him. Out of practice he may be, but he'd dig deep and put back on the old charm, and Summer would see that. The door to her cabin opened, and Colin came to an abrupt halt when a man's body was silhouetted clearly in the doorway. Summer joined the guy, and Colin's gaze focused on her, blocking out the man and the night and everything but his amazing woman, who was, to him, a waking dream. He loved what she was wearing. The shirt was pink, the skirt was soft and feminine, and coupled with the creamy yellow on her shirt and the gold of her hair, she looked just like she smelled, like a vision of sunlight and sweetness. He wanted to take her in his arms and mold her softness in his body and inhale her fragrance until he had to fight with himself not to explode. Then the guy moved, blocking his view of Summer with a growing sense of horror. Colin watched the jerk nonchalantly drape his arm around her shoulder. Another scent came to him then, one of lemons and laughter and fairies. The asshole who was trying to steal his sunshine was a fairy. His jaw tightened, and it felt like someone had slammed a sledgehammer into his guts when the goddess bee-damned fairy bent and began gently kissing Summer. For a moment, Colin stood rooted into place. Then, with a small sound of disgust, he turned and melted back into the darkness of the forest. Just beyond vision of the cabin, Colin paced and paced and paced. He had the urge to throw her purse into the branches of the nearest pine and break the carefully wrapped package into a million little pieces. But he managed to control himself, although just barely. Summer had said she had a boyfriend, but he'd scented her then and hadn't smelled even a hint of another meal on her. He had most definitely not smelled the fucking blonde lemon drop. Yet the fairy had been there, in her home, with his lips all over her. Alright, fine. He should have expected a woman as attractive as Summer to have other suitors. He would just have to step up his game. He was more than a match for the lemon drop. Fairies, even the wingless male variety, were all freckle sluts. Didn't Summer know that? Maybe she didn't. His brother had said she'd just moved back after being away for most of her 4 years of college. Maybe she didn't have much experience about adult fairies. Colin's jaw clenched again, and his hands fisted his crush, that damn lemon drop, into a little yellow speck if he did anything to hurt her. By the time he'd placed off his temper and returned to Summer's cabin, The light had been turned out. The scent of the lemon fairy had also been extinguished, which helped to calm him. The damn lemon drop hadn't stayed that night. Colin left his offering on the porch just before dawn.